Alright, welcome to the last and final update on the squall line this morning. The power outage number is now up to 3,042 on Long Island. For the most part, you see not too many outages in the central because the storm didn't really hit central Nassau, but it did hit the South Shore. It looks like you have outages in Wantagh, Massapequa. There's one in North Babylon, it looks like. An outage in looks like Central Islip. Some more outages up here in Smithtown. We still have this outage in Nesconset in Smithtown, and this is affecting the Port Jefferson. Looks like we have an outage here in South Setauket, a very smaller one. But for the most part, Long Island's power system is not doing that badly. But the Long Island Railroad is having problems, of course. Now we have the signal trouble in Pine Lawn, and now because of the signal trouble in Pine Lawn, they decided to cancel the 6 a.m. from Farmingdale, due in Penn at 6:50. That is canceled, so customers can take the 6:09 from Farmingdale, due in Penn at 6:58. So, thought that train originates in Ronkonkoma. I don't know. But anyway, and then we have the signal trouble on the Port Jefferson branch between Smithtown and Stony Brook. 10 to 15 minute delays, probably related to that power outage. Let's see, we got some comments here. And are we to stand in the rain? Are you going to get soaked standing outside? Yeah, because they don't have canopies. Yeah, they don't get canopies. Only the folks on the Babylon line get canopies. Well, Wyandanch does have canopies, but all the rest of the stations on the Ronkonkoma line, except for Ronkonkoma and Wyandanch, have no canopies, which is ridiculous, and there's no plans to give them canopies. So have that going on, and then we can look at their Facebook as well. Weather-related signal trouble between Stony Brook and Port Jefferson. So some comments on here. You know, a rough storm. You know, obviously it's not surprising that there are problems on the railroad. But once again, it's the Babylon line that got the most lightning strikes, and they're the ones that don't have any problems. Which just go to show you that their infrastructure is better because they've got metal poles. We should have metal poles. We should have the same infrastructure they get. Instead, we get wood, and a lot of it is 50 years old or more. And they just replace it with more wood. So, just because, you know, demographics, that's a whole nother thing that I'm not getting into in this weather update. You know how I feel about it. So, looks like the lightning is quieting down over Suffolk, but you can see this massive, look at all these lightning strikes. This is an unusually high amount of lightning for our area in general, let alone in April. This is crazy, and there's still more lightning strikes. So, the storms are moving off to the east end now. Let's see if we can update this radar here. They have weakened somewhat, fortunately. So I think the tornado threat is over, but there could still be some heavy rain, lightning, and some strong winds. And we're still dealing with strong winds. Farmingdale, 59 degrees. Northwest wind, now the winds have shifted to the northwest, 21 gusting to 31. But if we go and we look at Toms River, they have a light northwest wind and dew point 58. Heavy rain. And the other thing that's going on is there are now flood warnings in effect. So if we go and we look at some of these areas, it looks like there are flood warnings now in effect for almost all of New Jersey at this point, especially Ocean County. We have a flood warning in effect, probably because a lot of rain fell at a very short amount of time. We can look at some of the rainfall here. It looks like a half an inch fell, but that's not going to be the complete amount. I'm sure there's going to be more, and I'm going to go over with you later in another weather update later in the afternoon here as we follow this extremely unusually severe weather event, and this is all because of the jet stream. Let me explain to you once again why this is happening. For those who don't understand why this is happening, it's due to climate change. So I'm going to just hit the Ventu sky, and we're going to see what's going on here. And this is all due to climate change. So I'm going to hit the Ventu sky, and we're going to look at the temperatures here. And you have this extremely warm and humid air that's coming straight up from the tropics all the way up the East Coast. This air mass should not be coming up this far. Why is it coming up this far, you may ask? Well, that's because we got to look at the jet stream. All right, and we look at the jet stream, and I'll show it to you again. I showed it to you in another weather update, but I'll show it to you again. We'll take a look at the jet stream, and I'll show you what the problem is. The jet stream is literally going from the south to the north, and look at how far it's going. Look at how far it's going north. This is all due to climate change. Climate change is affecting the balance between the poles and the equator, and it's causing these crazy jet stream patterns, which are bringing us these crazy weather events. And unfortunately for us, it seems we're always on this right side of the trough, and we're always getting a south wind coming up off the tropics. So if this becomes a permanent thing, the East Coast is going to become tropical. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind while you get behind the wheel of your big truck, SUV, or vehicle that you don't need, that you keep driving because you feel like you need to drive it because you just like to drive it while you're killing the rest of us. But that I will save for the rant later. So that's going to be it for this weather update. Again, be careful out there. It is rough out there, and there's going to be some power outages. There's going to be some train problems. I'll just refresh this one more time and see if there are any more train problems here. Just to comment on this, since the 6 a.m. originates in Farmingdale and is west of Pineline, I have to question why. That's a good question. Probably because the signal trouble is that train might come from the Ronkonkoma yard and it can't get over to Farmingdale, and also possibly the signal trouble is affecting Farmingdale. It's possible, but you know, that's what it is. Like I said, take the Babylon line if you can. Tell the snobs to go screw off. And if they do give you a ticket, just rip it up and throw it in the trash. That's what I would do. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this weather update. I'll have another one for you about 5 to 6 hours from now, and we'll recap this whole thing.